Welcome to Kick 'em in the Head, a podcast that takes an inside look at the world of mixed martial arts, featuring interviews with some of the top fighters from South Africa and around the world, with a focus on the EFC and UFC promotions. I'm your host, Yaw. Join us as we delve deep into the techniques, strategies, and mindsets of these world-class athletes, learning from their experiences and gaining insights into what it takes to succeed in the toughest sport on earth.
Shaheed.
Yow.
It is time.
It is time.
We are here.
We are here.
Where are we today?
I will tell you, and I will not repeat what you are saying. We are at Team CIT. It is quite an auspicious day, guys. Very proud to be here. It's a culmination of a lot of things we've been doing. To sit in one of the biggest gyms in South Africa is really awesome. So we are at Team CIT today.
I think not just South Africa, but definitely the African continent. If, like we said yesterday, if you consider the champions coming out of this PI, it's phenomenal what they're doing here.
Man, just being here, the reason, like, you know me, man, I'm normally like loud and bad. There's so many big homies here. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna keep myself to myself right now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, other than that, it's very cool to be here. There's such a auspicious energy. I don't know whether it's Mark Hume getting ready for his championship fight against Peace. I don't know if it's the Dricus energy. I don't know if it's just being in Pretoria, man. But there's a different air around here. There's a different energy. And I'm so excited to see what the other gyms are doing just from this. It's like,
And you're quite right. With the gyms that we have in South Africa, if you look at the competition that we see at the EFC and all the other amateur promotions, it is a prime ground for MMA in South Africa right now. And CIT, the other gyms in Pretoria, the gyms in the East, we know that there's House of Tinkerbell, where Peace is coming from. They've got one champion, they've got Gift. They've got two champions. They've got JP as well, JP Kruger, House of Tinkerbell.
oh, yes.
So like you say,
the interim lightweight champion. Yes.
100%.
Can never forget about him.
So there's a lot of gyms that are doing a lot of good work and making sure that they're holding titles, even BIA, even though they don't have as many titles as they used to last year. But it's very interesting to see what all the gyms out here are doing. And the quality that's coming out.
It is, man. And this is like, we are miners right now. We're just looking for the diamonds, yo. Just looking for these guys that are up and coming, these new prospects. We already know the big guys. We're going to get to know them a bit better now, to see them in their natural habitat, to see how they communicate with their tribe. It's going to be awesome. And just to see how they affect the new breed of fighter coming out of South Africa. And new breed of fighters in South Africa. And I mean, Nkazimulo, the champion, just here right now is awesome. I mean, I think that energy just adds to the vibe here. And I can't wait to see, like I said before, what everybody else is doing from this. I feel like a miner. I'm in the dirt. I'm looking for diamonds, yo. Even gold.
And here we're definitely finding lots of gold. Like you said, the current bantamweight champion, Kazumulo Zulu, just walked right behind us. Yesterday we were here. We saw Dricus Plessis, Mark Hume, current welterweight champion in the EFC. So definitely lots of gold here.
Exactly, man. Prospectors we are. And it's exciting stuff, guys. But yeah, how would we end this little segment?
I think the best way to end the segment at Team CIT is the best way to end anything, actually.
Is
to kick him in the head! Shaheed.
Yow.
This week's episode, honestly, it's a very special episode. We are at a gym, shooting, not just a gym, not just any gym. Which gym are we shooting at, Shaheed?
We are shooting at Team CIT.
And the facilities are amazing. Impeccable.
Wonderful. All the adjectives you can think of to describe top of the range. Just like the smoothie.
By the way, these smoothies are made here at Team CIT. They are protein smoothies made by a fighter, Jabo, and they're absolutely amazing. If you're looking for smoothies, protein shakes, health shakes, definitely come to CIT's coffee shop.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Team CIT, for these.
Guys, you don't even need to train. Just come here, order a smoothie, and watch the big guys do the big work. You know what I'm saying? Just like us. Nah.
Speaking of big guys doing big work, there's quite a few stars here. This episode we're recording, we have Dricus here. We have, who else is here? Mark Hume, multiple champions. Nkazimulo Zulu. Speaking of which, UFC this past weekend.
Wow.
UFC 294.
Wow. Everybody knows that we were insanely excited. Guys, if you're not liking, if you're not following, if you're not subscribing, if you're not telling your sister, stepmom,
And commenting.
and your brother and sisters that you don't actually like about our show, you are not doing the most. So, guys, if you didn't know, Islam convincingly knocked out Alex the Great Volkanovski with an insane
Head kick. He kicked him in the head. Kicked him in the head. He kicked him in the head. I couldn't believe it.
Now, before we go into that fight and how people were looking down a little bit on Islam and looking at Volkanovski as this great guy coming into all that storyline, let's speak about Johnny Walker and
Magomed Ankalaev.
Ankalaev.
That was an unfortunate end to the fight. So it was a good fight so far.
Yeah, it was.
First round. They were going at each other. You could see that someone was trying to hurt someone. And then there was an illegal knee by Ankalaev on Johnny Walker. And the doctor was called in. When Johnny Walker was asked, "Where are you?" Apparently he said, "I'm in the desert, bro." But the doctor took that as him not knowing where he is. Therefore, he must be concussed. Therefore,
So
no
you should have been
contest.
way more specific. You should be like, I am in the UFC ring right now. I am
In Abu
fighting this big hairy man, and I'm looking to fucking win.
Yes.
Sorry for that.
But yes, that's how that match ended. And if you look at Magomed Ankalaev, that's now his second fight. He was on an undefeated streak. Now it's a draw, then no contest. Which honestly, I think that should have been a DQ.
Yeah.
For Johnny Walker.
I felt really bad for Johnny Walker. Isn't that the second time he's been ejected from the UFC event? And he looks so sad, man. He's such like an animated guy. He's tripping everywhere, and he's just like, don't you feel sorry for him?
Yeah, because we all love Johnny Walker.
Right?
We know he might not be the best. Well, he wasn't the best fighter at some point in time, but we all love Johnny Walker. So it was quite unfortunate to see.
Yeah, I felt sorry for him. But the next fight, Kamaru Usman versus Hamza.
A wrestling fest.
Yes.
And the question then is, Hamza really as good as we think he is?
Do you know what? All these fighters that we've seen are as good as what we think they are. We just need to lift our expectation and level to a UFC standard. This is the place where the best of the best of the best come to compete. Unfortunately, we get so used to the competitiveness of Kamaru Usman, of Charles Oliveira, of Conor McGregor, of Islam, of Khabib, that we actually don't understand how high level these guys actually are. And that just translates to this guy Hamza. Yes, he's the boogeyman. Yes, he's the biggest guy in the division. But in skill levels, everybody's the same. And on any given day, anybody in a division can beat anybody. If you train hard enough, you have the right mindset, the levels of skill between these guys are minuscule. And that's what we saw.
I think the 10-day notice, Kamaru Usman did note that as being one of the reasons why he was not as prepared as he could have been. Plus, he was apparently fighting with a 5-round mentality because he was champion for so long that he wasn't used to 3-round fight anymore. And so he didn't start as fast as he should have. So, like you said, but anyone can beat anyone on any given day. But 10 days notice, not just Kamaru Usman.
Hey, like you said, fighting in that sort of mindset. Conor McGregor actually commented and said number one contender fights should be 5 rounds. I think he's right. I think he makes a very good point. I think that's how we actually see who can last. I mean, it's the championship rounds. You're fighting to be in the championship. It should be 5 rounds. I agree. And then
The catch with that one is injury.
yeah, it
You know,
is.
you put your athletes at more risk of injury. That's the slight catch. But other than that, yeah, okay, I agree. But speaking of 10 days notice,
Yeah.
Big Balls Alex Volkanovski, as we started off, versus Islam Makhachev, who doesn't have a moniker. He's just Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, that's all he needs. He just
That's
needs to
all he
be
needs.
Islam Makhachev.
That's it.
I mean, like, that's one of those guys that as they start to, like, as we start to get to know them, he gets that championship shine to him, right? And then all of a sudden you start to see this other media come out about him and everything that he's doing and everything that we're seeing about him. So with Volkanovski and Islam, man, I feel sorry for Volkanovski. It's hard to. He spoke about something that we've actually been speaking a lot about today is mental health within combat sports. He spoke about his mindset. He spoke about being in a dark place and wanting to keep active. And I just hope that this loss doesn't affect him badly in a mental space, and he continues to being the great Alex Volkanovski. But Islam, wow, what a performance.
Wow.
And thank you, Islam. Like,
Thank you.
subscribe, share, follow. Islam, follow. Because that head kick, that was for us. That was for us. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Honestly, we really do, because I think what he showed with that win was that he is who he says he is. He might have the one loss, sure, but if you look at all his fights, his last 6 fights, including his last 2 title defenses against Volkanovski, he has been the one who has won. Sure, the last one we said maybe Volkanovski dominated 2 rounds, could have won, etc. But he came back and said, listen, I heard what you said, but here's a statement. This is me. I am the champion, the lightweight champion of the UFC. Come and get me. Even the pound for pound greatest can't beat me right now. I'm here. So I agree. Fantastic, phenomenal win for him. Unfortunately, Volkanovski, keep active. Let's see you against what's it called in January? Topuria in January.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one. So I think that'll bring him back.
Is he fighting against Topuria, or is it Holloway fighting against Topuria for the interim title?
He's fighting. He's asked to fight in Jan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to see how that unfolds, guys. That's going to be very, very interesting. But something else that is very, very interesting.
UFC 295. We are on that.
Before UFC 295.
Did I miss something? Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I missed. How can I miss the Black Beast himself,
This
Derek Lewis?
weekend, bro.
I mean, seriously.
Seriously, bro. Your
Derek?
balls are obviously not hot enough, dog. I mean, look at it. We're sitting in Pretoria. It is burning outside. So, Hot Balls Lewis, I mean, coming in this weekend, hot.
He got sponsored by a ball cream company, apparently. Like, awesome. I have ball cream too. But
Moving on.
moving on. Yes, this fight night is looking very, very tasty. We've got Derek Lewis fighting against an upcoming prospect, Jailton Almeida, who, like, he's a sensational fighter. He's good on his feet, but he likes to take it to the ground. BJJ Jiu-Jitsu. Derek Lewis, we know he's got that amazing stand-up. He just stands up because he's Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
So seeing them going at it, it's gonna be amazing. I'm really looking forward to that fight.
Another short notice fight, right? Curtis Blades was supposed to be in
He
there.
got injured.
That would have been a wrestling bonanza. But now we're going to see how well this new prospect is going to do against the knockout king of the UFC.
Yeah.
Spectacular, guys. You can't miss it out. And then there's a whole list of prospects on this card. I mean, we're
Like
going
Gabriel Bonfim. That's the only name. Arman Petrosian as well, who's 9-2. So we've got a lot of fights and fighters that could be in a potential top 15 discussion out of this card, out of this fight night.
Yeah, and that's why we always say, don't miss a fight night, guys. You can't. If you're a real MMA fan, you can't miss out on the fight nights. And one we know you won't be missing out on, because the man himself, Alex Pereira, the Boogeyman, versus the Boogeyman Slayer,
Yuri Prohaska. The Giant Killer. So that's that fight. I don't know. I go Pereira. We've discussed this one before.
Yeah.
I go Pereira all the way. If I look at where he comes from, his pedigree, his glory days, his kickboxing championships, I'm going Pereira. Because Prohaska, as much as he's an unknown quotient in terms of how he fights, he does whatever the hell he wants and he does it and it succeeds. I think Alex will have the defensive prowess to take this one.
I think it's going to be a high-level striking match, man. You know what? Prohaska inspires me, bro. His videos of him going into like ice water and running with bears, having eagles fly over him as he
Doing all kinds of crazy things in the snow
on top of a mountain and shit. Like,
you love the content side.
yeah, I love it, man. It's like a 90s movie. You know what I mean? Like next thing he's going to be doing like that perching move on the mountain. The crane. So aside from that, I love Prohaska. I love his style. I love his elbows, man. I mean, we saw that elbow against Dominic Reyes that basically dismantled his jaw. So these two guys are high-level strikers. We are going to see some crazy shit. I have no idea which way to call it. I just know somebody is getting knocked the fuck out. Knocked the fudge out.
Knockouts. Heavyweights. John Jones out of the heavyweight title fight with Stipe Miocic.
And Stipe Miocic removed from the UFC roster. Sadness.
All of a sudden, we were all looking forward to seeing whether the GOAT would beat the heavyweight GOAT of the UFC. And yeah, unfortunately, injuries have plagued not just the UFC. If you look at EFC as well, over the past 3-4 months, there's been a lot of title fight injuries. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but the replacement fight is the exact fight we talked about when we spoke about the heavyweight division.
Yes.
Pavlovich versus Aspinall.
This is something we did. We also spoke about this with Ola, I think, about Tom Aspinall.
And Tom.
About how he is a different sort of UK draw. How he needs to be a bit more vocal, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully, if he gets a title, it'll make him feel more comfortable, like we've seen with Islam, right? Islam was this unknown guy, was never really on the mic. All of a sudden, he's got the title. We're seeing this different content come out about him. He's playing pranks on Umar. He's doing funny stuff with his cousins and shit. And it makes him more likable. It makes him more understandable as a champion. And we get to see a different side of him. So hopefully with Tom, we get to see him turn up the volume, turn up the mic, and say something we want to listen to.
So, unfortunately, that's not happening. Tom put onto his Instagram that basically because he's going into camp, off the social media, off the media in general, because it's too distracting. So, I don't know if he's ever going to have, or when he's going to have the voice, because you're quite right. You have to have the voice if you really want to be there. But he is there. He is in the interim title fight for the heavyweight championship. So, but yeah, Tom's not speaking.
Sergey, say something. Sergey, I don't even care if you say it in Russian, bro. Just say call somebody out and say something, Sergey, because don't let this be a snooze fest. People can't think it's a snooze fest.
The thing is, it can't be a snooze fest.
Can't be a snooze fest. It'll be a great fight, but people need to know about it. It needs to be promoted in the right way so the right people can watch it and see how amazing these guys are.
Powerhouses.
Yeah, man. It's just one of those things.
And the other fight on the card that's very exciting is Jessica Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern for potential shot at the title.
Mackenzie, come back to South Africa so we can give you an interview. I'm a huge fan, Mackenzie. You can just roll with me anytime, any day. Okay.
Who do you have in that fight?
Mackenzie. Right? Yeah, he's Mackenzie on the ground, Jessica on the feet. Mackenzie is a amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner. Amazing. She actually came down to South Africa once and trained at one of the gyms in Sunninghill, I think. Amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner. Jessica, we know, amazing on the hands, amazing on the feet. So basically, Mackenzie on the ground, Jessica striking.
At this point, I want to see the odds before I make a decision, but I think I'll go Mackenzie Dern.
There we go. We love you, Mackenzie.
We love you, Mackenzie. But I'll quote someone from her last fight where she won. I think she still embodied the rage and anger of her divorce. So I'm still going with Mackenzie Dern.
So sorry. I'm so sorry.
Rizzing.
No. Okay. Now, let us move on. What are we moving on to, yeah? Is it that time? Boom, boom. Fighter of the week.
It's time!
So, you went first last time.
Yes, I did go first last time.
So, my fight of the week, I must say, based on what we've done over the past couple of days, who we've spoken to, engagements, my fight of the week is from Team CIT.
Of course.
Stefan Del Rey.
Wow.
DQ for multiple reasons. One, he escaped a vicious, almost deadly head kick against Dembasek at EFC 96. And also because of his mentality within the MMA space in terms of how he coaches and fights and how he's trying to look after the fighters that are coming up. He's making sure that they have access to the right sort of nutrition and education about things like nutrition, doctors, and training. So for me, definitely this week, Stefan DQ Delaray.
Wow, man. Chatting to Stefan was amazing. The way his vision for what young MMA coming up is amazing. Brilliant dude. My fighter of the week is Nerek. I love Nerek the Beast. Guys, follow, like, subscribe to all their social medias. These guys are amazing fighters. The reason I've chosen Nerek is because we get this perception of fighters, right? You see them on social media, you see them in the cage, you see what they do to people, you see when they knock them out, you see the ground and pound game. And then we get the privilege of meeting and chatting to these guys as regular people. And the juxtaposition of this man is amazing. He is a gentleman, he is funny, he's just a lovely person to get to know. So guys, I just encourage you, go follow, like, subscribe on all his pages. Check out what he's doing because he is going to be a huge prospect. Hopefully fighting on 110 EFC. And I'm so excited to see him. And I'm so excited to get people in his corner. Whoop, whoop.
And if you want to know exactly who these are, you can go onto our podcast and listen to our interviews with these fighters. Amazing interviews, of which we also want to speak to a new, let's call it a new promotion in South Africa.
Yeah, man.
BKFC.
BKFC.
So BKFC, the international organization, is now here in South Africa. We have our own local BKFC that's operating. So it's going to be very interesting to see how, quite frankly, the South African BKFC becomes the EFC of the international BKFC, similar to how EFC is to UFC.
I think it's called TKFC, Titans Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, very exciting times. So what does this mean for combat sports in general in South Africa? For me, it means that Michael Perry will probably come to South Africa.
And you dye your hair platinum.
Yes. or maybe red, because you never know with Michael. It's huge for our fighters, guys. It's huge for combat sports in general in Africa. It gives fighters the opportunity to earn more money, to fight more, and to get their names out there in an international space and really get the African nation right back into combat sports where we always should be, baby.
100%. If you look back to the 70s, 80s, all the boxers that would come out of South Africa, all the amazing coaches, I think this is taking us back to the heritage and pedigree of combat sports in South Africa. So very exciting to see that happen. Equally as exciting, if we're talking about pedigree and boxing, is Fury Ngannou.
Wow. If a boxer if an MMA guy steps into the ring, we got to talk about it, guys. We spoke about Dennis and Logan. I mean, we don't even like Dennis. We got to speak about it. So we love Ngannou. We enjoy Fury. So this fight, who you got?
I had Ngannou up until this morning or last night.
Oh, the open exercises.
I saw the speed on Tyson. Damn. Tyson Fury is looking phenomenally fast. His hand speed is phenomenal. His head movement was looking good. And then when I saw Ngannou, not that he was looking slow, he was looking super powerful. But if you wait to hit with the power, by the time you get the power, you've been picked off.
Yeah.
So I want Ngannou to win. I'm all for Ngannou, but based on what I saw, I would go Fury.
I think it's going to come down to experience. If you look at the pedigree of strikers that Ngannou has faced, it's been very low. I mean, somebody that would have tested his striking is Cyril Gaines. He went straight for the takedown. He took him down and he made him look like a child. He cannot do that with Fury. Even though we've seen Dennis do the headlock
twice,
we saw Nate Diaz do the guillotine, and he can't do that in this fight. This is a serious boxing event, man. This is not one of those MMA crossover situations. This is a Conor McGregor facing Floyd Money Mayweather situation. This is for the marbles. This is for like for us as MMA guys to say that MMA has a place in all combat sports, and guys that do boxing can't automatically just knock out an MMA guy. And it's full pride, and all I want Ngannou to do is survive the whole fight, get some good shots in, maybe knock Fury down, and lose on a split decision.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because for the sake of boxing, if Ngannou wins, I don't know what's happening to boxing.
Yo.
As much as Fury says he's going to fight in January against, I think, Deontay Wilder.
No. Usyk.
Oh, Usyk, yes, Alexander Usyk. In January.
Usyk. Yo, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Sorry, Usyk. Love you.
So it's quite interesting to see that he's already selected that fight for January, whereas he's fighting someone with all the power, and that's the thing. If you're fighting someone with as much power as Ngannou, you're going to take some damage, even if you win. So his confidence, I mean, the Gypsy King, okay, let's go.
Yeah, man. It's going to be a hot one. And yes,
very hot one. Right now, what's hot is gyms in South Africa. What the South African gyms are doing and putting out there in terms of MMA skills, fighters, is phenomenal. We've been at Team CIT the whole day. We were at Team CIT yesterday. We've had chats with all their gold.
Yeah, all the gold, man.
We missed one, but
yeah, we didn't miss. We missed one. We didn't get
Mark,
we
want to chat to you.
We need a photo. we need your ID number. We need your cell phone number, and we want an interview basically and a photo. So when we see you next, prepare to be harassed.
I thought you were going a bit left there, but yeah, we need. So, how important do you think it is to focus on what these gyms and let's call them health institutes are doing in terms of training and getting people ready for things like fighting, not just from the aggression standpoint or the skill standpoint, but also, as we've seen here at CIT, from the psychological standpoint, from the nutritional standpoint, and also in terms of health and wellness when it comes to doctors and all that?
Well, I think it's hugely important, man. We don't talk about mental health enough in combat sports. People that train to go into somewhere to literally beat somebody up, it takes a toll on your mind. It takes a toll, winning or losing. What people need to understand is that these guys are human beings. They're actual guys that are locked inside of a cage. They probably have the hardest job in the world, entertaining us, which is a hard ask some of the time, most of the time, but not all the time, guys. And these gyms are amazing. Yaw, can you just give us a little bit of insight to, like, the gyms?
So I think with what's been happening in specifically South Africa and spreading to the rest of the continent, if you look at Zambia, where Dante King Cobra fights out of.
King Cobra.
If you look at what's happening in Nigeria now with the AKO promotion, gyms are central to making sure that MMA practitioners have the right skills and know how to progress through to becoming an actual MMA licensed fighter to get into these promotions. So having gyms and having gyms, strong gyms like we do here with Team CIT now. There's Team BIA in Pretoria as well. There's House of Tinkerbell. Having strong gyms is the core of having a strong MMA industry.
And I think that people really need to understand, you, I, me, Yaw, Lou, as regular people in the world, just normal guys with normal jobs doing normal things, we can come train MMA and rub shoulders with people that actually work in the UFC, that have fought against Robert Whittaker, to just name one.
Who will be right behind us shortly.
And has fought again, and people like Cameron, the new age, the new generation of South African MMA. I mean, I think a lot of people forget that Dricus is only 28 years old. Mm-hmm. He's like Max Holloway. Max Holloway is a legend in the UFC. I think Dricus is well on his way to becoming one of a household name within America, and hopefully, guys, the South African thing to do is back the Booker. And if you are backing the Booker, back our boys here in MMA. We have got great guys doing great things, and you as a normal person can come train here and rub shoulders with them and actually get real life, true experience, knowledgeable coaching, like we were speaking to Stefan about.
And I think that's why we're having a focus on the gyms in South Africa that are doing their best, is because it's important for them to get the right promotion, to have people know that you can come here and you can train with a world-class athlete, you as a normal person, without having to have any special abilities or any past experience even. So I think that's why it's very important that we have the gyms have a voice and have the gyms be at the forefront of making sure that normal people know that they can go and fight and beat people up if they have anger issues. Why not?
Exactly.
Or if they just want to de-stress, or if they just want to keep active,
Yes.
like Volkanovski.
Exactly. Hey, poor Alex Volkanovski, man.
Big balls.
Yeah, that took me a bit off track. I was going to mention we'd love to speak to more Nefasad at some point to just get the understanding of the coaches. I think what we've been speaking about, the point of view that we've been getting from everybody is that the team, as much as MMA is a singular sport, you climb into that cage yourself. It is a team sport. And what has come out strong here is the motivation of each other, the peer-on-peer motivation, the fighter-on-fighter, iron sharpening iron. And I'd love to get the point of view of the coaches. So guys, if you're an MMA coach and you want to promote your gym, send us a message. We'll either come there or we'll do an interview with you online. We want to promote anybody and everybody in the African MMA space. So guys, even if you're not from Africa, if you're from Russia, we'll get a translator and we'll throw that stuff
Sergey,
down.
we want to chat to you. Sergey Pavlovich.
Yeah.
We want to see those hands. He's not Russian though, he's Polish.
Polish as well.
Yeah, Polish.
We don't discriminate, guys. Anybody, everybody. We just love MMA.
We just love MMA. And the other thing we really, really, really love. What do we really love, Shahid?
Kick him in the head!